When the yelling finally stops, when your son runs to his room, when everyone in the house is emotionally exhausted, what happens next? Most of us spend so much time trying to survive the meltdown that we rarely think about what comes afterwards. But today, I want to talk about something just as important. How do we rebuild connection with our boys after one of the hardest moments of the day? If you're tired of feeling helpless during your son's meltdowns and isolated by the stress it brings to your family, and you want simple steps to open communication, reduce outbursts, and bring more peace to your home, you're in the right place. Hey, I'm Cynthia, wife and boy mom. I remember having a child who looked typical, but spent hours falling apart at home. I learned how to stay confident during the stress of meltdowns and build connection without resorting to heavy-handed parenting. If you're ready to reduce the meltdowns and aggressive behavior and finally see that what you're doing is actually helping, then grab my hand. I am the mom you've been waiting to meet. If you've followed our family story for any length of time, you've probably heard me say that our youngest can react in one of two ways. Sometimes he erupts like a volcano, big emotions, big reactions, lots of noise. Other times, he disappears into himself. It's almost as though he retreats into a silent little world where we lose him for a while. Both are heartbreaking. As parents, it's so easy to think our job is to end the meltdown as quickly as possible. But I remember one particular day when we tried a new approach. What happened was so profound. Our son had become overwhelmed and ran straight to his room. As parents, our first reaction was almost always to go after him. We wanted to fix it or console him. This time, we let him go. Because at this point, he couldn't really hear us anyway. His body needed some space, and honestly, we needed a few minutes too. Those quiet few moments gave my husband and me time to think. What now? Then one of us, I honestly don't remember who, had an idea. What if we got silly? Now, before I tell you what we did, I want you to know this wasn't some parenting technique we read in a book. It wasn't planned. It was simply two tired parents willing to try something different. We quietly went downstairs, started digging through our storage room, and found an old box of Halloween costumes. A few minutes later, I was Catwoman. My husband was Darth Vader. Now, can you picture us? Two grown adults trying to tiptoe through the house without laughing, dressed like Catwoman and Darth Vader. It was awesome. We quietly slipped into our son's room. We started acting out our characters. Trust me, it wasn't an award-winning performance, I can tell you, but something beautiful happened. Little by little, the heaviness in the room began to lift. Guess what? We did not solve the problem. There was no convincing him he shouldn't have had a meltdown. What he saw was us inviting him back into relationship. You know, I've thought about that day many times since then, and I've realized it really wasn't about the costumes. The costumes were simply the vehicle. The real gift was the invitation. An invitation that quietly said, "We're still here. We'll stay connected with you no matter what. You're still our boy." I think sometimes after a hard meltdown, we accidentally stay emotionally distant. We don't want to or even mean to, but we're exhausted and often frustrated. Even our own nervous systems as mom and dads needs time to recover. I have been there too, more times than I can count, but our boys need to know something. The meltdown is not the end of the story. Connection is still possible. If you are feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next, I would love to support you. During a one-to-one meltdown strategy session, we get to take a look at what's happening beneath your son's explosive behavior and create a practical plan that's tailored specifically to your family. Go to bit.ly/meltdown session to book your call. That's bit.ly/meltdown-session. I'd love to come alongside you and support you. The question isn't, what did Cynthia do? You know your son better than anyone. Some ideas will work, others will surprise you. But definitely don't be afraid to look a little silly, because sometimes the silliest moments have the greatest impact on us as parents. Ask me how I know how easy it is to replay the meltdown over and over in your head, to wonder if you handled it well enough, to question yourself. Let me encourage you today. Don't let these very difficult days convince you that your connection with your son is broken. It's not true. We may not get everything right when things are seemingly falling apart, but keep putting one foot in front of the other, and what works one time may not work the next, so don't get down on yourself. Just stay flexible. In this instance, being goofy was worth all of that and more to maintain connection and intentionally bring peace back to our home again. Hey Mama, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If so, would you take 30 seconds and share it with a friend who may be on an uphill battle with her son's unique challenges? Also, please leave a quick review for the show on Apple Podcasts. It lights me up to know this podcast is helping you. All right, time to breathe and know that you have everything inside of you to courageously raise your brilliant son. I'll meet you back next week for another episode. Bye.